Hi YouTubers, friends, family, Emily again, and today I'm getting ready to install the roof rails on the van. I bought a product from Vantech. It's just the OEM, the Sprintervan OEM roof rack. It's pretty basic, comes in 3 parts, kind of a C shape, and the parts are really well labeled. They tell you, which end fits to which, C and D. And the install should be pretty straightforward. We have to use a heat gun to actually remove the current plugs that are in the rooftop. So we'll melt those plugs and pop them out, and then the rail just has pre-drilled holes that, like I said, they're OEM fit, to the holes in the van. You need a 7/16 socket, screwdriver. I've got mine covered with tape so that I'm not scratching the top of the van. And then they've got these they provide these things that, span the joints of the 2 pieces that are getting put together. And then I'll be using butyl tape to cover the holes that are in the van so that we don't have leaks. They do provide some foam padding, and I'll probably put that underneath the rails as well since they included it. And then there are a couple of optional holes that you can drill if you want to use the van all the way front to back, and I'll probably drill those. So I do have my drill with my 3/8 inch bit ready to go. That is about it. It's pretty cold in Minnesota, so I've also got my favorite worn hoodie and a pair of gloves that I'll be throwing on today to get this job done. So wish me luck. Here we go. Well, here we are. It's late November. We were supposed to have a 50-degree day today, and I'm pretty hell-bent. I was thinking I could get the roof rails in. You can see we've got snow in the yard and the wind is blowing like crazy. I do have my Patagonia long johns on, and I'm actually contemplating putting the roof rails in. It's not going to get any warmer, and let me show you the inside of the van so you can see why I want to get the roof rails in so bad. Here's the outside of the van. You can just see there's a little bit of snow up there, so if I am going to do this, I'm going to have to clear off snow first. This is the inside of the van, and this is one of those dependencies that you have to be aware of. These are the roof plugs, and they're all along the way here, and what we will do is we're going to pop those out, and that's what the roof rail is going to clasp onto. And the reason that I'm hell-bent on wanting to get this done is because if I am able to work over the winter, bring a heater inside the van or something like that, then I'll be building cabinets and things up here. So I need to get the roof rails in so that when I lose access to these, it's not a big deal. So that is the situation, and I'm just trying to make a decision about whether I want to get up on the ladder in this cold weather and finish this job. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm kind of a fair weather Johnson. I'm not much for winter weather. It's just not my favorite time of the year, let's say. All right, well, the install on that cold day didn't happen. I just couldn't suck up and do it. I just couldn't. But here we are, late November, and we've got a 44-degree day. So I'm just going to get out here and get started on putting these roof rails in. So I've got them all set up. You can see here's the rails. And if you remember, there's these plugs all along the way in the roof. And what I've done so far is just wiped out this trough. The next step is we're going to take a heat gun and we're going to go ahead and melt this. And we're going to be very careful about this rubber gasket on the side. We're going to direct the heat on this button and not on this gasket because we don't want to melt that. But we're going to pop out 11 tabs, I think it is, on both sides. And then we're going to mount the roof rack right into those holes because, like I said in my earlier announcements, this is it's manufactured for this van, so all the holes directly align with the buttons on the van. So let's get started. We'll get our heat gun and we'll start taking these out so we can do the next steps and get the racks installed before the snow flies. Yay! This is one of those situations where I just happen to have the tools that I needed to do the job. I've got a heat gun, something I already owned, so we're going to go ahead and get started on this button right here. See how it goes. It's a little bit hard to see from the camera view, but what I can see is that the glue is bubbling and turning brown. And so I'm just going to take my screwdriver, maybe my hands, just pull that plug out. Yep, pretty tough. Let's get our gloves. Get a good grip on it. I'd have to tap it out from the inside. Maybe I'll quickly try that. Might be easier. All right, well that worked. That was easy. All right, 10 more to go. Now that we've got the plugs out, the next step that we're going to do is just clean the remaining glue off of these holes using just a little bit of acetone and a rag. Okay, on these roof rails, you have the option to drill 2 additional holes, one at the front end and one at the rear if you want to use the full length of the track. And as you can see here, that screw fits into that hole, that screw fits into that hole, that one fits into that hole, and you can see here there's no additional hole. So what we're going to do now is I've threaded just this one piece before I put the whole bracket in, and I'm just going to put it in place, and then I'm going to use that to mark the hole where I want to drill this hole, and I'm going to go ahead and drill that hole as well. I'm going to be using my 3/8 inch metal drill bit, which is what we use, seems like, for most of the van holes, and we're going to go ahead and drill a hole right in this spot. There we go. Okay, we have our new hole drilled. I might file that down a bit, but let's check our fit. I'll definitely be filing that down and putting a coat of spray paint, which I've done on all these holes. But let's go ahead and check our fit. And that is perfect. Yay! Now we're going to do the same thing on the front end. So I'm going to put in all the screws except for the one where I need to drill. And these screws, they just use they're just an Allen wrench. So I've got my Allen wrench here and they go in pretty quick. And eventually we're going to put them all in for the middle piece as well. But while I'm drilling these, I need to have them in so I can ensure that I place this new hole that I'm going to drill in the right position on the van. Okay, let's mark these holes now. Let's see if we can take a look here. Get this down so you can see. So I'm just going to place this in all the holes where it's going to fit. And I just used my Allen wrench to make a mark on the roof. That was good enough. And now we are going to drill our second hole for the roof mount on the front. Should be in the damn circus. And where's our brush? I think I'm gonna get the vacuum. So we've drilled all our holes. We have got all the pins, the screws in the rails ready to go. The pieces aren't fully assembled yet. They're sitting here. The next thing that we're going to do is put my friend Vin's favorite. We're going to put pieces of butyl tape on every hole to help seal it. So that is our next step, Vin. Happy butyl tape. All right. So I don't have all 3 pieces together because, of course, one of them fell apart when I was ready to put it in. But I'm going to flip these 2 into place. And then we'll go down and press them down through the butyl tape. And we'll slide our ladder down. That is much better. There. Now I gotta slide this bracket over. There. Okay, the rest of the work. Wait a minute. No. Shit, I didn't get. Looks like I didn't get the black stuff underneath here all the way. This stuff came with the kit, and it's really more like a, I suppose it's they maybe think it's some kind of a butyl tape, but it's more foamy. So I'm just putting it on for, maybe vibration control. But I am using my own butyl tape for the actual water sealant. Okay, there we go. So now we go down to the inside of the van and we put the bolts on and snug everything up, and then it's on to side 2. So here we have the screws coming through the roof of the ceiling, and what I did was I wrapped it with a little bit of butyl tape on the inside too, just a small strip. I figure it can't hurt. It's going to pull that together, and I just really want to make sure there's good seal. Each bolt has a washer and a lock washer, and then of course the nut. And what I'm going to do is put them all on first, and then I'll come back and tighten them up, a little bit one by one, so we get even tightening as we go. All right, you get the idea. Side 1 installed. It's time for side 2. Let's do it. Roof rails are on, just in time for a beautiful sunset. Another job well done. Yay.